hits record. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie Metal guy here again with Crannk.com. And tonight I'm having a chat with Shep Shepherd and Cassandra George from Aetherial. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. I've been rocking out to you guys for quite a while. Love the death metal, love the style. I've actually got the little Still Waters of Oblivion album sitting in the back here from a few years ago. That one, I still love the heck out of this album. You guys are due to drop the Nameless Horror album October 23rd. Really looking forward to that. Really cool. Congratulations. Great album.
Yeah, too. Thank you. It's been a while since we've had some new music out, so we're really looking forward to changing it up a bit. You probably noticed with the single that it's a little bit different than the Still Waters, but it's good to evolve the sound, I think, for sure.
Yeah, we just wanted to make it closer to how we like. Well, the other album was a bit different, but yeah, this one's more like straight to the point, I guess.
Yep.
Straight dark wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you said that single, I'm Your Hell, that was November 2018, I think it was. That was a killer single, dude. I enjoyed the heck out of that one as well.
It's a good one.
Yes, definitely. That's was definitely sort of like a turning point of the style, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like an introduction into the new sort of sound that we've sort of been working on and developing. So
cool.
We were actually going to include that on the album, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah. And then you got the Kill the Master, the Resurrection one on there as well. That made a comeback on there, which is really good to see as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I just redid the vocals basically. That's all.
Had a little bit more work to it as well. It was good. I mean, we were happy with it at the time when we released it, but I guess sort of to suit the album better, it kind of got reworked, remixed, remastered. It's a good fit, I think. Suits it.
Yeah, it came out cool.
Yeah.
It's more like probably how it should have been, but it was still okay before, but yeah, it wasn't quite like right for some reason.
Yeah, that's right. Sounds good now though.
Yeah, I love talking about, you've probably seen a few of my interviews anyway. I'm going to ask how you originally started with your perspective instruments, guitar and bass. Shep, do you mind starting first? I'm like, who do I go with first? Shep, do you mind starting first? Telling me how you first got into playing guitar, mate.
Yeah, like high school, man.
Yeah.
No, I was a drummer, actually a drummer. As a child, stepfather is a drum teacher and stuff, and then got into guitar, then played bands, just playing guitar. Came to Melbourne, played guitar in bands and stuff, and then eventually started my own band with me doing vocals and stuff. That was just like kind of rock, then a bit of another heavy rock one, and eventually turned into just something wasn't clicking right with that sort of genre for us. I'd always liked all genres anyway of music. Like, don't really hate any genre too much. But just decided why would I love that genre the most? Why wouldn't I put my time into that? So before this, I basically worked out how to do songwriting and all that sort of stuff in commercial sense as well. So
yeah. So when did you start vocals? You're obviously a guitarist first. When did you start singing?
Singing, regular singing, clean singing ages ago. I don't really do that these days. But yeah, I think I only started to practice screaming and stuff in 2015 or 14.
For this album, for Aetherial?
Yeah, for Aetherial.
We'll kind of do it a little bit in Kevin Swallows, but not as much.
I was in a band before. I was screaming a little bit like a grandma.
It was kind of like a grunge sort of stoner band. It was right up. The vocals suited it though, like the grandma vocals. Yeah, but every time you go to do screams or yells or whatever in the old days, just comes out sounding like a screaming grandma. But so I had to spend a few months, a few years after that band sort of died down. I spent literally went to a rehearsal room by myself and just just kept going literally by myself and just until I could do it. Because you can't just do it. It's a lot of work, I think.
Yeah. So it took a long time, but yeah. Then you just keep trying to enhance it and whatever, and it's still quite hard technique, really. But
yeah.
So I don't have a huge blokey's voice, mate. Like, you sing like that, so it's different, yeah?
Yeah. And I consider heavy metal normal singing anyway. So for people like us, it's normal singing.
Totally.
Yeah, well, people that speak low, like, just some people, they're like, that's how they scream as well, so they don't have to change anything. So,
Okay.
like, you just have to practice, like, using your throat, all this bullshit, techniques and stuff. It's so boring.
Yeah.
We don't want to damage it,
Yeah, so how was that all, that process, learning to hit the range of the notes properly without tearing the hell out of your vocals? Because you've got, quite that heavy death metal growl, man. It's really cool.
It's like one of those, like, unknown things, man, that you just have to keep practicing and, like, do it yourself. Don't, like, reference other people. Just keep practicing yourself, and the less you try, the less you push. Don't push. Don't push. It's a weird thing, man. It's just an odd thing. So it's a bit confusing to explain, but yeah, you just sort of practice and chill. Really, no, I can't really explain it, but
yeah. No, I get what you mean. It comes from in here, and it's just, I know exactly what you mean. Cas, can I ask about how you originally first started playing bass?
Pretty random. I never really had much of a chance to learn an instrument growing up. So, I mean, I was always a bit of a loner, going it alone, like going to gigs, festivals and whatever, because we didn't really have like a musical instrument influence at home, or my friends didn't really like the same sort of things that I liked. So I was always sort of going on solo missions. So I actually didn't pick up playing bass until I was an adult, in my 20s. I was at a big day out actually with one of my friends, and just saw some chick on stage. I was like, fuck, that is so awesome. I'm doing it. I've got to do it. Never done it, but I just like want to do it. So I randomly went out and bought a bass next week and had lessons, and was my bass teacher.
Yeah.
I know, like nothing weird. No like creepiness. But yeah, then we started a band and moved to Melbourne from Adelaide a while ago. So yeah,
what was
that's
that
how I
move
got into
like?
it. Love it.
Getting over to Melbourne.
Oh, a bit of a change coming from the Vale in SA over to Melbourne. Pretty brutal. Good though.
It's a pretty good metal scene over in Melbourne as well. There's some quality acts coming out of Melbourne.
A lot going on, yeah. A lot of venues had closed down over the last few years, unfortunately. Super disappointing. They seem to be like all the metal venues as well closing down.
It's the same in Brisbane. Crowbar recently closed. I think it was Crowbar recently closed up in Brisbane. Yeah, I was chatting to a couple of musos. It's pretty crazy. I think
it's allowed to happen.
Yep. And then it's good to see like yourself up on bass. And I know a few bands that have female bass players ripping it at the moment. You've got Jess from Wounded Pig, and then you got Tom and Alana from Carnal Viscera. I've actually chatted to a few bands that have some really cool female bass players ripping it. And Jess from Wounded Pig was the same. She picked up bass, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jess, if you watch this, but she picked it up with her husband, Sam, when they were playing Wounded Pig to go along with that. So it's really cool to see you ripping it and holding it down on that bass like something fierce.
Awesome. Thank you. It's good. It's good fun, and I don't know, I think it's like such an important part. Like, I know like everyone makes like crappy memes about like the bass player like being shit and whatever, but I think like if it's not there, you really notice it, and you know, just to be like a solid player really sort of like brings it.
She slays all the dudes, man. They're like,
shut up.
She's actually like a good player though. Like tight, whatever. It sounds good.
You have to say that.
No, it's true.
It does
I'm
sound.
not behind, man. It's
yeah,
true.
no, it is.
Really good.
It is true. It is true. You can hold your own. And can I ask how Aetherial, like, you kind of started the band together? What was it like first starting the band back then, you know, and getting material out and, you know, kind of working around? When was it like that you've gone, okay, this is the point we're going to get serious about this and, you know, bring out the Still Waters of Oblivion? That came out in 2015. Can you tell me a little bit about all that process?
Yeah. Well, I guess like we really started it after
band before.
Yeah, our band before. It was really like a progression into like heavier music. Just wasn't really sort of very satisfying to play that music anymore that we were. We wanted to create like heavy music. Like we love heavy music, and I think that you can express more in that. So I guess it was just like really a desire to create. We worked on that album together. We recorded everything. That was at Everland Studios with our friend there.
Before we had it came because the band before that we played in called Cave of the Swallows, which was kind of cool. That he had the drummer. He like continued on into the very first part of the Aetherial.
Yep.
So yeah, then we just got a couple of guitarists to play the parts, and that's. So we must have live. So we really just went and did the studio stuff ourselves with someone else at that stage, and then basically I just eventually tugged out guitar parts and just got a couple of dudes to play, and multiple different ones all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the ways that all happened.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess like we kind of got to the point with that record. We'd recorded it over a couple of years, and it just had to come out. You know, like when you've just sort of been sitting on it and it's just like, no, it's just got to go. So we put it out independently in 2015. And then after like a massive fuck around, it was re-released in 17. But
we got this dude from Germany to do the artwork for us. And he like was from, he did the logo and everything, which who was he doing?
Heaven Shall Burn.
He was Heaven Shall Burn's artist and Suicide Silence and stuff like that.
Yeah, we actually found him because we love like the Heaven Shall Burn artwork so much. It's like one of our favorite records. So like, oh God, we've got to get that guy. So we looked him up and surprisingly, like he said yes. And he's such an awesome dude. Yeah. He's like a mad scenester over in Germany, loves Lovecraft and sort of like spooky, crazy things and kind of really into like art and photography and stuff. So it's cool.
And you're like having a friend in Melbourne.
Yeah,
in Australia.
I think he did as
He'd
well.
never spoken to anyone from Australia, so I think half of his emails would just translate like things.
Yeah. Well, it would have been good too. Having that reissue back in 2017 would have actually got used around some more ears. Did you notice that when you reissued that?
Yeah. Well, I think we did reach some more people. Also, by that stage, we had learned a lot ourselves about putting out a record. We do all of our own own PR, recording, videos, literally like everything. And I think going through like bad periods with people that like don't do anything really forces you to learn the skills, research, look at what you're doing, and I guess just like meet more people. So it's been
so what's that like being an independent artist and juggling that kind of things as well? Because people don't realise the amount of work that goes into being an independent artist as well behind the scenes. It's crazy.
Oh, dude, if it was as simple as like, oh, let's write some songs and play some music, like, oh my God, easiest shit in the whole world. But yeah, it's a lot of work. We work every day. We're doing something every single day, regardless of what it is. Whether it's researching, emailing, talking to crew, editing videos, working on new songs. It's a lot, but I mean, that's what we do with our lives. We want to do it. We dedicated ourselves to it. And I think without that creation, we would literally just like wither and die. So we chose it. It's all good.
So it's so much better to do it by yourself anyway.
Yeah, it just allows you complete control of how you present yourself and what you put out. It's good.
Yeah, it is. It is good too. You've managed to reach all the right ears as well. And it is a lot of work. And I'm finding this the same as what I'm doing. You can draw comparisons to what I'm doing from home. You know, it's the same. You're working every day. People don't see what goes on behind the scenes. So I want to talk about Nameless Horrors. Can you tell me a little bit about how, where you look to for themes for when it comes to songwriting and things like that?
Yeah, well, Cas is the actual bass player and lyricist of the band, just like Geezer Butler. So she can explain. I literally don't write the lyrics or anything.
Yeah.
So
I guess with this album, Nameless Horrors, we had like such a crap couple of years, like really, really shit. And we had so much material to work with. A lot of sort of unresolved feelings we wanted to take something negative and put in a positive way, like into the music. So I guess in a way it was like pretty therapeutic, but I guess it sort of deals with stories of what we'd sort of been through, spells, curses, loss, revenge, despair, depression, lots of things, tinged with hope as well. So yeah, deals with a lot. It was
basically
kind of hard writing it.
It's one of those bands that just like is always honest and positive and just the normalest, nicest people, and just constantly gets fucked over. Just by like people, just be like when you try to do stuff and stuff. It's happened most of my life generally.
Oh yeah, it's just.
But now we're like in
It's definitely the same issue.
Yeah.
Whenever you're doing things positive, it doesn't matter who you are in the world. You're always going to come up against stuff. I don't know however you want to say it. We're all going to come up against struggles. I'm the same. I'm battling against stuff. You guys are battling against stuff. I got, mental illness I'm battling with every day. And I know so many other people are around the world. And, music like what you bring out can bring a lot of hope and inspiration to people. I love Aetherial, man. I've been cracking you guys for years. So when this album come across my desk, I'm like, choice. I get to have a chat to Aetherial.
Yeah, I think it's so good to be able to turn these negative experience that you've had personally into something that can create hope, can inspire, and it's really therapeutic for people to sort of know that they're not alone as well. Everyone's sort of going through this. At the time you feel shit and it's like, oh God, this is like literally just me. It's not.
Parts of music's a bit touching. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like
it's very personal.
But
it's a very personal record, I think.
Yeah. And there's nothing more therapeutic
really happy with
than
it.
screaming
It's
along to
probably...
some death metal.
I
know, right?
But with like fundamentals in like writing stuff, I think we've put that into it as well.
Oh, you have to, yeah. It's not just like a massive like cry fest. It's just it's still ingrained like our fundamentals and our sort of like values in like songwriting and creating music as well. So some core fundamentals that we always like to sort of stick by.
Yeah. So can I ask about the guitar tracking then for this, Shep? Can you tell me a little bit about tracking guitars and everything for this?
It was pretty horrible this time. Yeah. Well, mainly because I wrote most of the album was written by ear. And so I had recorded it all and demoed stuff without vocals and stuff, but just demoed all the guitar parts, but I didn't know how any of it went. So I had to kind of backtrack and work out how it went. So, because the aim for most of the record was to not look at what I'm playing when I'm playing it. Yeah. I know it doesn't make sense, but I just wanted to hear it. Yeah, I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to make it sound right.
But I think that's created really good riffs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that organic sort of just let it happen and see where it takes you has worked well.
I used a $150 cash converters guitar.
Done the job.
The last album. The last album was recorded with a guitar that was found in a dump.
Hey, dude, it rocked. Who cares if it cranks? It's heavy. Who cares?
This one's from this one was from Cash Converters. I think got $150. So
that was a mad bargain, though.
It was pretty good.
That was a sick bargain.
But I had this guitar. It was just an average Schecter thing, I think. But and I had it sitting around for years, but I never used it. Then I just got it set up, and
I think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
It's hard to play as well.
But because I can do it, because we could do it at home, record on Pro Tools or whatever. I could make sure everything's perfect this time.
Yeah.
Which sometimes doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if it's a bit. Sorry for butting in. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect sometimes. Especially when you're recording with the engineer or producer or whatever. Sometimes you never. A listener won't necessarily hear it, but this time everything is right.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, you had Asha Ali. She mixed it, and it was mastered by Ermin Hamedovic. And I actually looked; they've got some pretty dope credits to their name. Asha Ali's got some good up and coming bands up on there that they've mixed. Sorry, but Asha, he's mixed, and then we've got Ermin Hamedovic as well. He's in Malice's Wake, which I love. In Malice's Wake, another cool Melbourne band. Periphery, Elm Street, a heap of other bands on there. What was it like working with those people?
Asher, yeah, I spoke to him. I did speak to him on Skype once. He's a super random dude. Yeah, he's so cool.
Yeah.
He was very weird. He was like, I don't know if he's a superhero or weird soup type of dude, but he was mixing like...
He was drinking the biggest coffee like we've ever seen ever. Like, that
coffee
was like... Yeah, I know. He definitely needed it, like mixing this shit.
He just said weird stuff like he didn't sleep and he like just drank coffee and smoked cigarettes 23 hours a day, and I was like, cool.
Yeah, it's such a cool dude.
It's pretty cool. But
we like can't wait to meet him when we go to Canada one day.
Yeah, then and I mean, he's probably the best at what he does, I guess.
Yeah, we
one of the best,
I guess, with who we wanted to go with. But yeah, Asher, we were super impressed with what he was doing. Like, it was actually recommended by Ermin, and we trust Ermin because we love what he's doing. So, yeah, I think like both of them did a really good job. It was pretty much exactly the sound that we wanted in the end.
Pretty close, yeah. It sounds good.
It does.
Yeah,
it's a great sounding album, and everyone needs to go grab it on October 23, Nameless Horrors. But the single, It's Only Blood's already out, so people can get along and, pre-order, grab some merch. Can you tell me a little bit about that single, It's Only Blood, and kind of what that one means for you two?
It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
I don't know, writing lyrics is pretty weird. I guess I just like base it off what I've experienced, as I've said. But I guess it's about like the ultimate betrayal and feeling like you're just so low at the bottom, you will sell your soul to anyone and anything to get revenge. Regardless of if Lilith owns your soul forever. But yeah, I guess it's a bit of a dismissal as well of like that sort of feeling clouding your judgment and giving away like essentially what makes you human, and having the notion that it's only blood, but blood is actually what keeps you alive. So random, but yeah, that's what it's sort of about. So I guess we wanted it to be like super aggressive. It's pretty brutal.
So what's that like for you, Shep, bringing vocals to Cas's, lyrics, the songs she's written that are obviously come from some quite personal points? What's it like for you to then bring vocals to that for her? And
it's pretty easy, really, for me to. I would just like listen to what she wrote or whatever, and I
guess like I lay down like because I write the vocal as well, like placement.
Yep.
So with the guide, like Shep will demo for me the song like musically. I'll write lyrics and write like vocal placements and lay down like I guess like a guide.
Yeah.
Just a guide for sort of placement, but I think overall they've always worked okay.
Yeah, I just really do a first few versions or whatever, and then like maybe you have to give things a rest for a couple of weeks or something and to come back to it. And if which is something that people need to learn in life and music, you can't just go voila, it's perfect straight away. Well, it can happen, and that's amazing if it does, but there's so much time and energy putting into like placement of like every word and syllable and clearly pronouncing everything, and to make it, I don't know, of a higher quality.
Yeah, I guess like clarity is always something that we want to go for in the music as well, particularly with vocals.
Yeah, just making sure every word is correctly pronounced and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can hear it.
Yeah. So where's the best place people can get along and support Aetherial? Like I always bring this up, merch, pre-orders and support, because I know user in Victoria and you've been especially hard. And, I've mentioned this a ton of times, but just because people can't go to gigs, it doesn't mean you can't support bands, even more so now than ever. Bands need your support. Yeah, so where's the best place people can get along and grab a pre-order for Nameless Horrors and buy merch to support you?
Pre-orders, unfortunately, weren't. We're with Wix, and Wix wouldn't allow pre-orders for CDs, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. We'll have CDs available from our website, so they'll be exclusively available through us. So we'll send them out for you. But I mean, the music's available on all platforms.
Yeah. This time we decided just to go on everything.
Yeah, I mean, we hadn't sort of gone on everything in the past, but I guess when you sort of want to reach people overseas who have been asking for your music and, don't really necessarily want to pay like exuberant Australia Post prices for shipping, which is ridiculous, I might add. Yeah, they can just buy it online or whatever.
We definitely get like interest and if you call it sales, but just people or fans or whatever, like from England, America, Europe and stuff. Just
Germany.
Yeah, we just get like very minimal love here, very minimal. But yeah, we get a lot of people's like life-changing bullshit sort of stuff where they really like it because they just appreciate it honestly. But it seems in over here it's quite hard these days to. I don't know what it is, but like it's hard to get out, man.
I've seen it plenty of times. Like I'm sitting here talking to you, but you aren't the first band that I've chatted to that have actually done better overseas, and I can see Aetherial probably doing better over in UK and in Europe than here in Australia. And it's sad that we have this top quality metal acts that are actually getting more love and appreciation, which is great. I'm not saying it's not, but they should be getting that love and appreciation here in Australia as well. You know what I mean? Metalheads in Australia that aren't listening to Aetherial need to go play that. That album, that last one you brought out is great. That holds it down. You got the the singles, Kill the Master there. It's unreal. I'm Your Hell. It's all there. He's got so much great music and Nameless Horrors coming out. But there's so many bands that are in this position. I don't know what to do either, Shep. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy the talent we have here. And I'm going to go on all night now. You got me started. But we had this big push from government and people. We're all going Australian made, Australian made, Australian made. But where's the same push for this art sector, the music and bands like yourself? Where's the support for the industry here in Australia as well?
Yeah, I think particularly in wake of what's happened, you would have seen it, but like music, arts, culture, education, they're always the first to get cut, to get stopped. It's, I don't know, it's disappointing considering arts, music, it's what makes life worth living, really. I mean, without it, what have you got? Like, you got no radio, you got nothing. Film is shit without music. Like, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It just doesn't make sense.
We couldn't even get, like, in this country last few years ago, we couldn't even get, like, the single from the other album played on radio. They just refused. It's like, what? It's like, that sort of stuff. Where they meant to support all that stuff, but just like, we get, like, those, like, we intelligent enough now to deal with that sort of stuff, and it's not like we don't take it personally, but it's strange when some small things don't add up or into the idea of supporting your local sort of thing.
Yeah, that's where people like myself, and then you've got Everblack Media and outlets like this that have started from independent people like me that have just cared passionately about the scene and want to share more. Because I sit here and I shake my head sometimes going, why aren't these bands getting more airplay or people talking to them? I've chatted to other people. They're like, this is our first Aussie interview. I'm like, what? You're serious? I'm the first person from Australia to take the time to talk to you. Like, it's crazy that I've talked about that.
It is crazy. It doesn't make sense.
It's important that you're doing what you're doing though, because
so important.
Because like I don't know what's happened in the exact past, but I think it's good you're doing Skype and stuff or video as well. It's another element because I don't know exactly, but sometimes podcasts and stuff might not be as effective. It's cool to have the other face on there. I think like just the.
Yeah, well, I think it's good to put a face to a name, and then you listen to it, and it's just like, oh yeah, those guys.
Even your face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
That's guys plug it everywhere. Yeah, I know. That's why I've gone with the Aussie Metal thing, because I'm trying to plug the metal. When I was doing that DJ stuff with Blunt Force Stereo out of Denver, Colorado, I'd get on and just play Aussie Metal, and I'd remember I'd be playing like Ethereal on there. I reckon I played a track from Yous on my first show way back then as well. And I'd get on and I'd just play Aussie Metal, and it'd be called Australian Made with Jai, that Aussie Metal guy. And I'd just get on for an hour and a half, 2 hours just playing Aussie Metal.
Yeah, I remember.
No, it was good fun. Nameless Horrors.
They wouldn't know I hit him over there.
It was fun. It was fun. I give him my first show. It was like an hour, and he's like, "Oh, that's average." So I come back with a 3-hour show. So there you go. That's the one. It's done now.
Hell yeah!
This has been an absolute pleasure, Cas and Shep. I'm going to sign out. Everyone grab that Ethereal Nameless Horrors album.
Dude,
Before I sign out, last words, shout outs or thank yous or anything I may have forgot from you two.
Thank you so much for having us. Jesus Christ,
dude.
It's brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
You're getting our word out. You're helping spread the music. It's amazing. But yeah, thanks so much to everyone supporting us and listening to our music. We really appreciate it doing it, and we love that you're doing it. It's amazing. And we hope that it is inspiring for you.
Definitely.
Absolute pleasure to finally have a chat with you two. I really look forward to this album coming out, so everyone get it in their eardrums. As I say most of the time, turn it up really loud when you get it on October 23, because the neighbours are really going to want to hear this one as well. Cas, Shep, massive pleasure. Thank you very much. Hopefully 2021 we get some live gigs happening, get to see you all over this way sometime. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Cool, man. See you soon. Bye.